Hey man, welcome to the Super Divorce channel. If you think you're gonna like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up now. And if you're digging it here, go ahead and subscribe. Just make sure you bong the gong for notifications so you know when new videos go live. Now then, please look forward to this video. Enjoy, chefs. Hey man, Nicholas Villars here, aka Super Divorce. I play music, I'm making a comic book, and also today I'm making a video about Red Rooster. The book you see over there in the magic frame, and also right here in my hands. Red Rooster. Figured it was time. Maybe more appropriately, it would be better to review the book 3 years from now. No. We're going to take a look at it and see what's the deal with Mitch Bratweiser's Red Rooster. So let me go in on the frame here a little bit, and we're going to talk about this book. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. This is what you see here. It's called Red Rooster Golden Age. Red Rooster Golden Age by, like I said, Mitch Bratweiser and Mark Pellegrini, who's doing fantastically right now. Has become quite well known for his work on Common America. That is a book that is just blowing up. That IP, if you will. Doing fantastic. They're doing a crossover right now that's currently funding, doing big numbers with Black Hops. I believe that's what it is. I haven't picked that one up, but I'm going to have to. Anyway, so this one was written by Mitch Bratweiser and Mark Pellegrini. Art by Mitch with some assistance from Kelsey Shannon, and colors by Elizabeth Bratweiser. This book, if you don't recall, maybe you're newer to the scene, this is one of the very first books that was promoted on live streams within Comicsgate and then crowdfunded via Indiegogo. It did very well for itself, but it has been some time ago. If you can see here, look at this. I actually pulled up my Indiegogo history because I was curious, when exactly did I fund this? When did I help fund it? September 11th, 2018, almost 3 years ago. I guess you could say it was 2.5 years, you know. But 2018, 3 years ago, basically. I paid $35 for it. I got the signed comic book plus the sticker package. What took so long? Oh, what a story that is, isn't it? Again, if you're somewhat new to the scene, basically what happened was Mitch Bratweiser and his Allegiance Arts label, imprint, publication, publisher, whatever you want to call it, he got himself a deal with Walmart. And back when this first went down, when it was going down, it was big news. They were actually trying to get Ethan to go into this deal with him. He didn't want to do that because his suspicion was, even if I got Cyberfrog in a Walmart, it's not going to help me out that much. You know, it's not worth all the headache and the delay that's going to go down, taking time away from putting these books out on my own, getting them out in a timely fashion. It's not going to be worth sacrificing all of these things to get my books in Walmart. Mitch Bratweiser had a different opinion, and they went ahead and Allegiance Arts got this deal with Walmart. You might have seen Allegiance Arts books in your local Walmart. I have. I went and picked up the first batch of them, actually, because I don't know, maybe it was misguided. I was trying to be supportive, even though it was a bullshit move. And then the fact that it took so long after those first round of Allegiance books went to Walmart for Red Rooster to be sent out to the backers. You know, it's like, okay, what he did was he decided to split Red Rooster up into different issues. So you didn't get the whole story right away. He wasn't offering the entire story to random Walmart customers before he got the entire book out to his backers, but he was giving people that didn't back the book an opportunity to get a sneak peek, basically the same time that the people who made sure his book got backed did. And that pissed a lot of people off. And I thought it was kind of bullshit too, but like I said, I tried to be supportive, and then it just dragged and dragged and dragged. Time dragged on after that, and it's like, where is this book? Where is Red Rooster? This book better be the most amazing thing anyone's ever seen when it finally comes out, because 3 years, $35, that's a long time to keep people waiting. But okay, it finally came out about a month or so ago. That's when I received mine. I think they're still being shipped. The tail end of the backers are probably being taken care of right now, but I think a lot of people have gotten theirs so far. And they did send them in these nice Red Rooster Allegiance Arts Gemini mailers that you see here. So I mean, that was nice. That's cool. You're providing a little bit of an experience for people. Where, okay, well, you got to wait 3 years, but at least you got a cool box that your comic books came in. And they were shipped, packaged well, nice and sturdy. So that's something. Also arriving with my book anyway. I don't know if every tier included the same thing. But I got the Red Rooster trading cards you see here. And then the graphic novel came with a slipcover that is pretty much the exact same thing as the cover of the book, which I think is strange. I feel like if you're going to do a special slipcover, you would want that to be somewhat different. You'd want there to be something different about it, maybe a different background at the very least. An entirely different cover wouldn't be bad. Because now, since the front of the book looks exactly the same as the slipcover, I just kind of want to take the slipcover off and leave it off. And then you got this Red Rooster sticker there. So that's good. That was nice stuff. So what was the book all about? Red Rooster, you see right here in the middle, is the leader of a historically secret crime-fighting group called the Order of the Dawn. And this group, at least at this point in time, like I said, it's got a historical background, so it's a group that's been together through the ages apparently. But this current iteration in the Red Rooster comic book in Golden Age is made up of Frank Cooper, that's Red Rooster. Then you've got over here to his left, that's Benjamin Thurman, Strong Boy, because he's strong. And is he still a boy? He looks like a man at this point. But he was recruited when he was just a boy. So they still call him Strong Boy. Kind of like you're always going to call the Young Bucks the Young Bucks. They're not going to change their names to the Old Bucks when they start getting up there in years. This guy over here with the 6 shooters and the cowboy hat, that is Thaddeus Palehorse, aka Pilgrim Shadow. And then the lady is Midnight. Her real name is Grace LeBlanc. I don't see him in this picture, but there's also Red Rooster's dog Rascal, and he kind of goes out on adventures with him too. Don't know anything about this guy over here on the left, on the far left. This swordsman, kind of like your Zorro character. He is not mentioned by name in the introduction. They don't talk about him in the book, and they had no information about him on the back of any of the trading cards. So I'm not sure why they bothered including this fella. Maybe they were going to feature him, and because of the time crunch, they ran out of time and decided to just leave him out. Or maybe they're going to incorporate him in a sequel and just want to get people's noodles going. I don't know. Another fact about Red Rooster, I want to call him Red Robin. Red Rooster, another fact about him is that you'd only know from reading the trading cards, actually, is that he was apparently trained on the battlefields of World War I, where he also assumed the cape and cowl. And I thought that was kind of odd. That is a backstory that is not told in the book. That is something you'll find out if you read the back of one of the trading cards that was included with the package. World War I think, is a weird place to say that a superhero got trained and like adopted this getup. Because if you know anything about World War I, it was a complete shit show. You know, if there's any war in the history of humanity that you did not want to be dropped into, it's probably World War I. Because, well, I mean, there's literally a podcast series on World War I that I listened to by Dan Carlin. It's fantastic. I've listened through it multiple times. I recommend everyone do the same. Hardcore History, Blueprint for Armageddon. Check that out. It's like 26 hours of just information about World War I, how it unfolded. You got to listen to it. You got to give that a listen, because people don't learn enough about World War I. Everyone goes hard on World War II. World War I was very interesting and absolutely just a hellscape. It's actually what inspired Mordor in the Lord of the Rings series, because J.R.R. Tolkien was a soldier in World War I, and that was sort of the scene. That's what inspired him to write those books. Anyway, back to this. It's a strange backstory, I think. And also this idea that the order of what the shit is it? What did I say it was? The Dawn. Order of the Dawn. Another strange thing about that is that on the trading cards, they tell you they got this generational history. This group's been around forever and ever, kind of like, you know, the Justice League or the Avengers. When certain heroes get too old or they die, then new heroes are brought in and initiated. They take over the mantle of former heroes, especially Red Rooster. This is also a character who is lineal. This cape and cowl has been passed down through the generations countless times, I suppose. Don't tell you that anywhere in this book. Just on the back of the trading card again. Odd, I thought. Anyway, the story begins with Frank Cooper, aka Red Rooster. He's burying his dog Rascal, leaving his log cabin behind to head home, wherever that may be. We're then taken back in time a bit to when the Order of the Dawn were like big superstars. Movies, TV, doing commercials. Everyone knew them. There was some debate on the street as to whether or not the Order of the Dawn were actually like legitimate heroes, or if they were just all pomp and circumstance, if they were kind of the creation of Hollywood. And if you read through the book without reading the trading cards, you wouldn't really know. You wouldn't know where exactly they came from. You might think, oh, well, these are like some Hollywood heroes that were put together for television, and they ended up going out and fighting crime on their own. You could have come to that conclusion. But read the trading cards, you find out, no, it's legit. They're legit. The people who think it's all fake are incorrect. Still real to me, damn it. So you see him there doing a commercial for this Kapow Cola. Red Rooster gets news from his buddy Midnight, the sort of bombshell of the group. Gets news from him that 6 of their most ruthless foes have just been busted out of jail, and they seem to be headed to Big Town. It's a, fictional big town where the county fair is about to take place. So Rooster, Strong Boy, and Midnight, and Rascal, they all make for Big Town ASAP, but don't realize they're walking right into the trap that the mysterious arch villain of this tale is set for them. And we aren't told much about this guy. Here's a picture of him. He has no name. For some reason, he always has various bugs crawling around on him or near him. That's a little unsettling when you first see him. But he's also been able to spring 6 felons from prison and get them on a train to Big Town. Not to kill Red Rooster, but this guy's plan is to completely ruin Red Rooster's life, ruin his legacy, his influence, his reputation, all of it. And so after that's done, he tells them, you can do whatever you want with Red Rooster once we take care of the dismantling of his public image. And once we ruin his life, then you can kind of do whatever you want. But don't kill him yet. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to ruin him. Now, leading up to the showdown in Big Town, the showdown between the Order of the Dawn and the Bugman's bad guys at the county fair, we see a bit of bickering between Red Rooster and Strong Boy. Kind of like a power struggle in this group. Maybe Strong Boy doesn't quite trust Frank. Red Rooster doesn't think he makes the right decisions. But not much is revealed about the Order or its members besides this dynamic between Red Rooster and Strong Boy. That's kind of an unfortunate part of this tale, is that you don't feel like you know this team very well. You don't know anything about their backstory. You don't know why they're together. So it makes it tough to get invested initially if you don't understand why they even formed this group in the first place, or what their dynamic is like between the various members. So just as the Big Town showdown, as I like to call it, gets underway, Midnight ends up in a solo situation, kind of battling the main Bugman villain. And this is the time of the book where he reveals his plan. He kind of gives his big villain monologue and reveals his plan to bring all of the members of the Order together at Big Town in one place at this county fair, and then he's going to have gas dropped on the county fair, killing everyone. No concern for the collateral damage or anything like that. And so this angers Midnight, but before she can take her aggression out on him, he does like an oogie boogie thing and disassembles himself, breaks his body down, and disperses into a mess of bugs that kind of skitter away down a nearby storm drain. You see right here, it's kind of skittering and scattering down the storm drain, and so she runs off. She's trying to alert everyone to what's happening. And now, I'm not going panel for panel. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing. I'm leaving a lot for you to discover if you would like to read this on your own. But I will say the grand finale it's very action-packed, and it would be cool to see in live action. And I say that because the ending of this book feels so condensed. There's so much that happens in this big showdown, but I don't feel like it got like the individual parts, the components of the showdown. I don't feel like they got their proper time to be featured. It all had to be kind of scrunched together. And again, I wonder if that was the original plan, or if decisions were made after the fact once the book became so late to just try to squeeze this all into this fairly short segment of the book. There's a dog fight in the sky between Midnight and this guy called Nigel O'Glycerin. They have a dog fight, and that's entertaining. You could do much more than they did on that. They got towering infernos. They got exploding cars and motorcycles. You've got electric storms. Red Rooster versus a look-alike inside a funhouse, which would have been really cool to see more of. Because I've always been a fan of, when anytime there's like a horror movie or an episode of Scooby-Doo that's like at a carnival and they have to go into the funhouse, there's always a lot of cool things you can do with a funhouse. Of course, they did the sort of Hall of Mirrors, which you expect to see, but that's about all you got. That's about the only thing during this fight that lets you know this bogus Red Rooster and the actual Red Rooster are inside a funhouse. Well, there's a Hall of Mirrors, and they're trying to, to solve their problems via combat, and it's confusing and it's kind of cool. But again, you could do you could almost do an entire issue of like a cat and mouse game inside a funhouse. It's that cool of a setting. So it just sucks to see it condensed down to a couple pages. Really wanted more of that. Didn't get it though. You also get a portal that swallows up Midnight and Nigel, which was unexpected because it's a pretty down-to-earth book otherwise. And of course you got the Oogie Boogie guy. That's not necessarily down to earth, but you don't have super villains like flying through the air and the guy who uses electricity, he's got like a contraption that he uses to control electricity. It's not like it just shoots out of his fingertips. Not like the Emperor. So in an otherwise fairly sober book, then you get this portal that shows up and it swallows up the airplane, and you don't really know where they went. You don't know what caused it exactly, how it materialized, where does it lead to. No one knows. So a bit of a cliffhanger there. Anyway, following the showdown in the big town, 15 people end up dead, many more are injured, and like I said, Midnight's gone without a trace. Pilgrim Shadow, the guy with the 6-shooters and the cowboy hat, he's barely breathing. They don't see him much throughout the book, so you kind of don't care. Unfortunately, he's just like, oh, that was the guy who jumped down for a couple panels, and then he's gone. He might be dead soon, and Strong Boy's really mad about it. That's all you really know. So Strong Boy blames Red Rooster for making a spectacle out of their crime fighting. Thinks that they should have kept it under wraps, should have just done their job and not tried to make stars of themselves. Insinuates that the law is actually going to be looking for Frank Cooper soon, because all the bad guys are gone, and someone's going to have to pay for the death and destruction that's occurred. Everything that went down at the county fair, someone's going to have to answer for that. It's probably going to be Red Rooster. So basically the Red Rooster and the Order of the Dawn are no more at the end of this book. That's the impression you're given. Frank packs up, hops on a train, and you're assuming at this point he's heading out to the secluded cabin area that we saw him leaving at the beginning of the book. And on my first read through, this ending, this is actually like, how the book ends. Felt very abrupt. You don't see him actually make it off the train to that cabin that he's leaving at the beginning. It stops right here. It's like these guys are standing over him, and it's like, what they say, cock-a-doodle-doo, sleepyhead. And then the very last panel, his eyes pop open. And that's the end of Red Rooster Golden Age. And, I don't know. Didn't feel like a very satisfying ending to me. I mean, I guess you're left to assume that he's kind of waking up as Red Rooster again. He's going to deal with those guys. Okay, that's fine, but I don't know. I would have liked to, would have been nice to see him to get out to where he is when you first encounter him at the very beginning, so it all kind of comes full circle. It's like they almost got there, but then they stopped at a strange place. Oh well. That's Red Rooster. So the first question, I would assume, the first question you might have for me, or for someone who has backed this book, would probably be, was it worth waiting 3 years for? Was it? I don't know. I mean, not many books are worth waiting 3 years in general. So a better question might be, was it worth $35? Because I'm not one of those people who gets super upset about the deadlines. Some people get really, really upset about that, and it's, oh, where's my fucking book? It was supposed to be here a month ago. And if a creator shows me that they're working on it, and that it's actually being made, and my money's not being stolen, it's not something that I get super up in arms about. This particular situation pissed me off because they chose Walmart and potential Walmart customers over their backers. That was a problem for me. It wasn't necessarily the wait. That's fine with me, really. I mean, I'd prefer books be on time. If you say something's coming out in July, then get it here in July. If you can't, then just show me that it's being worked on and you're going to get it to me eventually. That's not a deal breaker. But when you choose to sort of make your fans, your backers, take a back seat to, in this case, Walmart customers, Walmart shoppers, who ended up really not being into these books in the final analysis anyway. I mean, I've seen the racks myself at this point. They're full. You see these Allegiance Arts racks, they're full of Allegiance Arts books. No one's buying them. They're getting marked down just to clear them out. It was a bad choice, in my opinion. Another thing I might say about that, when you see the Allegiance Arts books sitting there in the Allegiance Arts stand at Walmart, the titles, well, you see them in like the video game section, you see them in the toy section. The covers of these books don't really jump out and grab me as being super attractive to certainly younger readers. I see the cover of these Allegiance Arts books, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it looks nice enough, but I don't see anything that's going to attract like people who aren't currently into comics, or lapsed comic book fans, kids who like the Avengers and Marvel and DC heroes. You don't get the impression that Allegiance is trying to rope those types of fans in. I don't know exactly who they were going for with these Allegiance Arts books in Walmart, but whatever. Was it worth $35? Probably not. I don't think I would pay $35 for many books like this. I mean, I could probably get a copy of Watchmen for around the same price. This is a pretty small book, and not all of this is the story. I mean, there's like additional fan art in the back, and then they've got a feature on another book. What is it? The Saints, I think, or the Futurists. Yeah, they've got a feature on the Futurists in here, so it's not even all Red Rooster when you pick this up. So $35 for a comic of this size is a little steep for me. If I was super into the artwork and absolutely was floored by the story, then I would say, okay, yeah, it's a little bit more expensive than the average comic, the average graphic novel, but I'm willing to pay that for it because the artwork blew me away, or the story blew me away, and I didn't have that experience with either one of those things. I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty good. There are some questions I'd like to have answered, so I'm slightly intrigued by aspects of the story, but especially the artwork. There are some panels that I found especially I don't know, maybe disappointing, or just wondering what was going on. I know this art style, Mitch's art style, is a little more scratchy, sketchy. Not sketchy in a bad way. It looks more like, you know, certain artists don't try to do like super clean line work and make things very precise. They have this more loose, free-spirited style, which is what you see throughout this book. And the panels that are really good are still done in that style, but they're done with detail, and it still looks like, you know, a good amount of time was spent on them. Certain panels throughout this, though, contrast with that, and they look almost like they were left in the sketch phase. Like, not, this is my style, I have a loose and free style. It's like there was more to be done, and it was just left. Like this guy right here, I can't remember his name, one of the villains, but I mean, like this right here, this is just, I will tell you this, okay? I'm making a comic book myself, and if I had put this down on a page, if I drew this in a panel for the book that I'm creating, I have the wherewithal and I have the honesty to look at this and say, this is not on par with some of the other drawings I've done in this book. I've got to redo this. She just looks awful in this panel. And the hair, like, a lot more could be done here. This was, again, it looks like a placeholder that was just allowed to stay in because it can be explained away as, well, I have a messier, sketchier style, and that's just the way I draw. But I don't believe that, because there are other panels that I think look fantastic. And I just get the impression that certain things were rushed in this book, and when it's 3 years late, or 2 years late, however late it was, when it's taken 3 years to get it out to people, that's when you start to have these thoughts and wonder about these sorts of things. I mean, this right here, this guy just looks like he's in total sketch phase. Like, this is the messy shit that I do with my pencils before I erase a bunch of this and go in, clean stuff up. It just looks like it was left to go into the final version of the book when it should have been, I don't know, tweaked, cleaned up, elaborated on. A page like this, again, looks more like, if you took the colors out, you would say that this is more of a storyboard. Again, this guy, I don't know. Backgrounds leave a lot to be desired throughout the book as well. That's something else I noticed. This page, or this panel right here, another pretty bad one, I think, that you'd look at and be like, I've got to do something to this. That's what I would say to myself. And I know when you get sort of a bird's eye view shot like this, you can't, there's only so much you can do with it, let's say that. But you could at least do something with these wheels. You could do something with the guy standing here, or the figures just look, I can say it again, it just looks very storyboardish. It looks like you colored a storyboard page. I'm not trying to be mean, that's just, I think, the truth of the matter. If you're an artist of sort of any level, I think you'd probably agree. But oh well, I'm not mad. That's just that's something that hit me. That's one of the reasons why I would say it doesn't necessarily feel like it was worth $35, because the story didn't blow me away, and then the artwork throughout the entire book did not blow me away. And $35 book that you wait 3 years for should be top notch all the way through. And it's just, I would say more average than I hoped it would be. I think it had a lot of potential, but that's what it was. And I'd have a hard time backing another book from the Brightwisers after this. I'm not saying that I never would. I probably won't, though, because there are so many other books now coming out and so many other creators within Comicsgate who are doing work that I am actually blown away by, that I see and it's like, oh my God, well, there's something I would actually pay $35 for and maybe wait 3 years. I do see some things like that. Red Rooster, it was among the first. I think it got a lot of support initially. The way that they handled their rollout, the way they sidelined their backers, I think it really did them in. I don't think that a Red Rooster 2 will do anywhere near the sales that the original did. And that's too bad. And it's also too bad that we might never know what Red Rooster could have been if the Brightwisers didn't get themselves into that situation with Walmart. If they didn't take so long, if they didn't fall so far behind, maybe this book could have been a book that was worth 3 years and $35. But the world may never know. And that's about that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, if you would like to listen to Super Divorce music, please check that out. You heard some during the little intro clip for this video. That's Super Divorce. If you want to hear more, if you'd like to sample my offerings, go to Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, wherever you stream your fucking horse shit, and just look up Super Divorce. Latest album was called Action Figures. It is 10 songs, 10 original songs. Poppy synth pop. If you're a fan of, let's say, Depeche Mode or Tears for Fears or New Order, if you like shit like that, I wager that you will enjoy my Action Figures album. And if you want a physical copy, something like this, there's a physical copy. If you want a physical copy, you can go to superdivorceme.com and you'll get one on CD, cassette tape, or vinyl record. Celebrate the entire catalog. Get one of each. That's what I recommend doing. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at SuperDivorce, on Instagram at SuperDivorceBand, and sub to this channel if you haven't done so. Like this video. Comment below if you got anything. Let me know about your experience with Red Rooster. How you feel about the Brightwisers. Are you excited for the future of common America? Are you following Mark Pellegrini? Let me know. Whatever you want. Or something completely unrelated. Whatever you want to say below. I'll get back to you. And that's going to do it. So, thanks for being here, everyone. Until next time, take real good care. Keep kicking ass. Love you lots. Lord willing, I'll be back very soon with another video for you to watch. Bye-bye.
Super Divorce. We can go